Hello, my dear listeners, and welcome to the Healing Station. Here at the Healing Station, we receive our healing, and God comforts us, and God redeems us. Today, we're talking about Samson with Samson, Judges 13, 14, 15, and 16. Now, Samson is this special child. He came into this world with an instruction manual. The parents received a visitation from the angel, and the angel told them, "We are going to have this baby. He's going to be a Nazarite, and his hair should never be shaven. A razor should never touch his head, and he should not touch anything unclean." So Samson was born. When Samson was an adult, he found this lady in Timnath, and he was interested in her, and he told his parents that he had found this lady in Timnath, and they came down to Timnath. And now when he was alone, a lion roared against him, and he fought the lion and rent the lion. And later on, he turned aside and he found that honey had developed in the carcass of the lion, and he ate the honey and he gave the parents and they ate the honey. But this marriage didn't last long because the father gave the lady to the companion, to Samson's friend. So Samson went back again to find the lady and found that the father-in-law had given the lady to somebody else, and he got very upset. He took foxes, 300 foxes, and tied their tails and put the tails on fire and led them into the fields, and they consumed the crops in the fields, and the Philistines got upset, and now they wanted to seize him to bind him. So they approached the Israelites and told them, "We are here. We want to bind Samson." So 4,000 Israelites, 3,000, is it 3,000 or 4,000 Israelites took Samson and bound him and presented him before the Philistines. But when he saw the Philistines, and as they shouted at him, the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he tore the rope as if it was just a mere thread. And he descended upon the Philistines with a jawbone, a new jawbone in his hand, the jawbone of an ass. He killed 1,000 Philistines. After he had killed 1,000 Philistines, he became so athirst, and he thought he was going to die of thirst. And he called upon the Lord, and he said, "O Lord, you have given great deliverance to your servant. Will you now let your servant fall into the hands of these uncircumcised Philistines?" And then God created water. In the same jawbone, he clave a hollow in the jawbone, and water came there out. And Samson took the water, drank the water, and his thirst was quenched, and his spirit was revived. And then in Judges 16, Samson went to Gaza with a harlot. He was with a harlot, and the Gazite heard that he was here, and they compassed round about him. They lay in wait for him quietly, silently. They lay in wait for him. They say, "Tomorrow morning, we'll wait until morning. Tomorrow morning, we shall seize him. We shall seize Samson." But at midnight, Samson woke up and left. He carried the gate, and the doors of the gates and the posts thereof. He carried them on his shoulders, and he carried them all the way to the mountain and stuck there. And the Philistines feared him. But then again he fell in love with Delilah at the valley of Sorek. And the lords of the Philistines approached Delilah and told Delilah, "If you can find out how strong this man is, where he gets his great strength, they called his strength great strength. If you can find out for us, so that we may prevail upon him, so that we may bind him and afflict him, then we shall pay you 1,100 pieces of silver." So now these lords of the Philistines were saying that each one of them would pay Delilah with 1,100 pieces of silver. So assuming there were nine, if there were nine, that means that Delilah was going to get 9,900 pieces of silver. So Delilah was motivated, and she started to find out where this great strength lay. And she asked Samson, "Where does your great strength lie?" So the first time he talked about 7 ropes. If he's bound by 7 ropes, new ropes, green ropes, then his strength will go away, and he'll be like weak like another man. And of course, it wasn't true. And Delilah said, "You have mocked me." The second time again, he talked about ropes, and they tied him, and it was not true. You'd break these ropes as if they were a mere thread. And Delilah said, "You've mocked me twice. You've told me lies. Tell me where your great strength lies. And he says, in my hair, tie my hair in the weaver board with the pin and the beam. Then the 7 locks, tie them, weave them into the weaving board. So Delilah went ahead and weaved the hair into the weaving board and the pin and the beam. But he woke up in the night and he woke from sleep and started to walk away with the beam, with the pin and the beam on his hair, as if there was nothing. So Delilah said, "These 3 times you have mocked me. If you really love me, you have to tell me the truth, where your great strength lies." All this time, his strength was not known. But one day, after Delilah had pleaded and pleaded, he was vexed unto death, and he told the truth. He said, "A razor has never come upon my hair. If you touch my hair, if you cut my hair, if you shave my hair, then I shall be weak like any other man, and my strength will leave me." And Delilah called the Philistines and told them, "He has told me the truth." They brought the money. They gave her the money. She made Samson to lie down, to sleep on her knees, and she caused a man to shave the hair. And Samson woke up and found there was no strength. She began to afflict him. "The Philistines are upon thee." But this time Samson said, "I'll go out as other times before and shake myself." But actually, his strength had already left. He didn't know that already strength had left. So Samson was bound. They took him and bound him and and took out his eyes, and they placed him in the prison at Gaza. And his work was to grind and also to be sport for the Philistines. So one day the Philistines were having this party. They were celebrating to their God, because their God had delivered their enemy into their hands, and they were able to prevail upon Samson and to afflict him, and just like they had said they would. And they became sport for them. They said, "Bring us the Samson so that he can make us laugh, to entertain us." 3,000 of them were gathered in a house, and he came. He was led by a young lad, and he told the young lad, "Show me the pillars." And the young lad showed him the pillars, where they are. And he took the pillars and he prayed another prayer. This is the second time Samson is praying, and he said, he called upon the Lord, and he told God, "Avenge me this one time. Give me the strength. Let me avenge my eyes." And he used all his strength and all his might, and the house, using the pillars, the house came crumbling down, and 3,000 Philistines died, and himself alongside with them. And the Bible tells us that the people that he killed were many more at his death than those he killed when he was alive. It was a great victory, a great deliverance. But it came at a price. It came at a price. He died premature. He lost his eyes. He lost his career. He had been judge for 20 years in Israel. They buried him. The relatives came and gave him a decent burial. Today we're talking about Samson, and we are saying, we are comparing ourselves with Samson, and we are saying our war is not against people. It is against flesh and blood. And we are going to, our war is not against flesh and blood. It's not against people. It's against, we fight against principalities and powers. And Ephesians 6:10, Paul says, "Be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might." And again in Romans 4:20, we are told that Abraham was strong in faith, giving glory to God. So we're going to be strong in faith, giving glory to God, and we're going to be strong in the Lord, in the power of his might, because this war that we are in is not a physical battle. It is a spiritual battle. And God is going to give us great deliverance like he gave Samson. So Samson prayed to the Lord and said, you've given me great deliverance already. Are you going to let me die of thirst? And God heard him immediately, and he gave him water. And then the second time he said, "Let me avenge these my eyes. This one time, give me the strength." And God gave him the strength. So he prayed twice, and both times God heard him. We are talking about great deliverance. God gave him great deliverance. We are talking about great strength. His enemies kept saying, "Great strength." Let us know. We want to know about his great strength. But himself, he would refer to his strength as just strength. But the enemies would say, "Great strength." Today at the healing station, we are talking about great deliverance and great strength. And we are asking God to give us great deliverance and to give us great strength. Kindly share, subscribe, comment, and like, and go ahead to enjoy great deliverance and great strength like Samson.